Alright, good afternoon. So, I finally have the time to try and wrap up Season 1. That's what I'd like to do. Today we're going to try and wrap it up completely, if we can, because we should just have the one chapter left. Now, for video purposes, I don't know if this is going to end up being one video or two. We'll see how long it takes us, but we are going to try and push through this today if we can. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and activate that last chapter, The Battle for Lion's Arch. And got that email. A rapidly developing situation in Lornar's Pass. So this is going to be really interesting, this whole Lornar's Pass thing. Because this is going to be the instance version of something that I consider to be the blueprint for most Guild Wars 2 Lornar's Pass. For most Guild Wars 2 meta events. And that was immediately seen after this in Silver Waste. I mean, not immediately, but the next major thing, unless you consider Sandstorm in Dry Top a meta event, which I guess, depending on your interpretation of meta event, it could be, but when I think meta event, that's not necessarily like what I envision. Because it's it's a lot like the Desert Highlands thing. It's a map-wide thing, but it's not it doesn't have a culminating, kind of pinnacle the way Silver Waste does, and the way this did. So, yes, I was asked to come to a weapons test. Let's see what's going on here. Timey, what's up? Scarlet's work. Alright, cool. Timey wants to see her, maybe meet her. I would, but for different... What do you think she's up to? Testing her Aether Cannon. Okay, yeah, cool. Sacrifice their energy cells to her weapon. So there, this army that she has, is she gonna like kind of deconstruct them to power up this super weapon? Is that what this is, a super weapon? To defend those energy fields until her watchwork minions can reach them and power up her weapon. Absolute genius. Absolute genius. You do know she's a terrorist, right? Never said she was a good person, but that doesn't make her any less of an engineer. Okay, I mean, I guess that's fair. You're gonna get yourself killed, Tommy. You're a lunatic. Oh, but that doesn't give us the... Alright, I would also like to meet her, but for different reasons. You know she's a terrorist, right? What do you think she's up to? There we go. Okay. Tommy, you should probably get out of here. I guess that was the trigger for this to advance. There we go. Okay. So originally, this was a meta event on this map. It appeared temporarily. I think it was around for like 2 weeks, and then it was gone. These days, you can access it. They added it as a thing that pops up. Like I think it's a few times a day that you have the option of doing it, like every few hours. Access it from the north, if I'm not mistaken. I don't. It's not really something I've like really got into, because I don't like. It doesn't evoke good feelings for me. So, and that's like one of the important things here that I kind of want to get to is, oh, I got stomped. I think there was an achievement for not ever getting stomped, and the very first thing I did was get stomped. So, the really interesting thing about this, there are a lot of things that I see as, like, kind of precursor characteristics for the meta events that we see today. Multiple lanes having to collaborate. Again, failing. Lots of interesting stuff that we see today. The one thing that was different, however, is that in the meta event, each one of these little islands, like the one we're on right now, so in this instance version, right, we are on this one island. We're in this one little circular area. I'm bound and determined to just get hit by that as many times as possible. In the meta event, groups of people would be clumped into these. and all of them had to succeed for the event to succeed, and that was actually like a fairly difficult thing. And part of the problem was that made it very prone. So everyone on the map, right, like 150 people on the map, would experience the frustration of failure if one of these little islands either A, had someone that wasn't very good on it, which certainly is possible. It's certainly possible when I'm playing. I'm not very good. But the other issue was, and this became more and more of a thing. Again, this predated meta server. Mega server. Mega server, that's what I meant to say. It predated mega server. So what we would have then is, if your server had a person who thought it was funny to kind of troll this event and kind of guarantee failure for their server, then it wasn't very hard for them to do. All they had to do was make an effort to see their particular island fail. That was, man, I'm doing bad. So that was real problematic. Not, and I do think they learned from that, and so I think, you know, when we look now at the way some meta events work, we see that they've tried to build a little bit of resilience into the system, right? To where, yes, you know, you still need people to work together. Like Octavine would be a good example of this, right? There is the need for people to collaborate and for certain things to happen kind of close to simultaneously and all this. Like there's plenty of coordination required for Octavine. But at the same time, it's a little bit harder to troll than this event was when it was like a thing. So of all the places in Season 1 where I feel like they scaled it for 2022 when they reintroduced this, and of course this was new to 2022 because in the original Season 1 this didn't look anything like this. So then when they decided, hey, you know, like we need to roll this thing out, what's it going to look like, etc., etc. I definitely think they scaled it for 2022. This would have been real problematic in, 2013. I accidentally wasted my Axe 5. That was unfortunate. Real bummer. Oh man, who just like straight took that entire break bar? Must have been timing.
What we can do. Keep them back.
All right. I'll do what I can, Rox. I'll do what I can. Let's be clear. It's kind of a big order. Like, considering I am not playing well on Soul Beast these days, this could be going a lot worse. And if I were like on Ellie or something, it would be going a lot worse. I am a terrible Ellie. Not a very good Mesmer either. Guardian, bad at Guardian. 4 chains have been cut. You can actually see that, right? Like chains, like swinging around and stuff. That's kind of cool. So supposedly, and I can't like validate this because I never looked that hard. Like I never paid attention to that degree. But apparently, the model for the actual like marionette over here was changed between season 1 and when they rolled it back out. Again, I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna 100% like validate. Yes, that is true. Supposedly that's the case. It was apparently like a topic of conversation when it got rolled back out. Weird thing, if it's true. I'm not sure. You know what the point of that would be. Apparently the change made the marionette less feminine in appearance. Weird, like weird play, but okay.
They'll have to hit much harder.
Alright. I made it look hard, but it wasn't really that bad.
We are super adventurers! Disengage combat mode.
Cool spaceship. Or whatever it is.
That was fun. I actually thought we might not win against that thing.
Right? Me too,
I'm
bro.
starting to think Scarlet doesn't care whether she wins or loses against us.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
She doesn't fight like she wants to win. She sacrifices her weapons to take some of us out. It's like she's culling the herd.
Our herd.
Yeah, Tyria's defenders.
What do you think about those devices she's left around?
We don't know that Scarlet dropped those off, do we?
Who else? I keep waiting for one of them to explode.
Or spout toxins like the Tower of Nightmares.
You can stop worrying. They're not offensive. They're probes. She's looking for something.
Or open up and spew dredge into the surrounding area?
Whatever they are, I'm convinced they're dangerous.
Nobody ever listens to me.
Did you hear about the worms acting up?
I listened to you, Tammy.
Someone was saying something about that. You gonna go check it out?
Nah, I'm so tired. My pillow's already snoring.
Mine too.
As soon as we're done here, Bram and I are heading back to Lion's Arch.
Yeah, I'm starving.
We'll meet you there. Casmi, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry.
Okay, so those things that they're referencing don't really, when they reintroduce season 1, don't really They're not featured prominently.
Child,
You're a super genius.
what are you doing out
He
here?
is
Who
a
are you
super
with?
genius.
I'm not supposed to talk to nosy strangers.
Where are your parents?
Dead.
Oh, that's always the trump card.
Okay. Well, you're obviously a long way from home. You come with me.
By whose authority are you ordering me around?
Valid question.
By the authority vested in me by Queen Jenna of Divinity's Reach. Now come with me.
I'm not going with you until I know where
Th-
you're taking me.
Does that apply here in Lorna's Pass?
To Lion's
Is there like
Heart,
jurisdiction?
Then to Radassoon. You've got no business out here on the battlefield.
Are you paying the waypoint fees?
Yes. Now come on.
You seem like a pleasant enough travel companion. Come on, Scruffy. This nice human is taking us home.
Aw, shucks. Okay, so like I was saying, so these devices that Scarlet left around, where all the other folks are speculating, oh, these might be dangerous, like these are a bad thing, and Tammy's like, no, they're probes, like nothing to worry about. Nobody listens to her, right? Let's see if we can find one. I don't remember where any of them are. So, by the way, so this is permanent on the map now, the Lorna's Pass map. In fact, they even put a vista. I forget how to get up there. There is a way of getting up there without mounts, like that was achievable. I just don't remember how to do it. There we go. Boom. Vista done. Okay, but what we want to find is... Wait. Nope. No, that's 10. I feel like there is one... Well, I mean, they're all over the place. Is just right now wanting to find one. I'm 100% not going to find one. Like, that is without a doubt the case. But these things... So they're another great example of, like, Season 1 as it was versus Season 1 being reintroduced. Is that was like during the original Season 1, these things popped up and we didn't know why. We didn't know what they were. It was like, hey, this is super weird. Like, what are these things? But we just had to kind of wait to find out. And so that like apprehension on the part of those characters where they're like, oh, could it be this? Could it be that? Are they dangerous? Et cetera, et cetera. In a way, not that players were like scared of them, but the uncertainty of what they were and what it meant to the community, like that was a real thing for the players because we didn't know what they were there for. They appeared, and then that was like part of the story, as they existed on the maps for a while. Now you will not see them in their original forms, which was that they had like kind of like an orange magical effect kind of flowing out of the top towards the bottom. I thought there was one in one of the green areas on this map, but it's hard to say. We'll try to find one real quick, and then if we can't, we'll just have to move on. And like I said, the thing is, they're all over the place. Like, there was probably over 30, 40 of them. So, like, you're gonna see a million of them when you don't want to. They do represent another example of like something that, like, the world would probably be better without now. Like another, kind of like the Damage Tower in Kessex Hills, like another remnant of storytelling that creates confusion. Oh, this is actually relevant to the story. All right, Stuart Gix. Our triumph over the marionette. Yes, I do what I can, Stuart Gix. Durham Priory owes you a debt once again. Well, I mean, I am pretty awesome. In fact, I'm so awesome that I'm really, like, without me, Tyrio would be completely lost. All right. They pieced together data recovered from the mechanical minions. A hidden lair. A hidden lair beneath the priory itself. All right, so that's where we're going to go try to find more clues. if we cannot find one of these deactivated probes. Which now look like they're kind of like broken in half. Where was it on this map? Ugh, gross. Leave me alone, guys. I'm looking for probes. Alright, maybe we just didn't have any luck. Let's cross the bridge real quick, and then if we don't find anything, we'll continue to hide it. Like, when I start on Season 2, then I'll see like a million of them. And that'll just be like dumb. Plenty of rock piles. Because that's for the heart that's here. If I'm not mistaken. But I don't see any of the probes. Well, it is what it is, I guess. So at this point in time, and this is another one of kind of the side effects of like, you know, the permanent and like replayable and like the different way that Season 1 is now. This layer is like a much less exciting thing than it was originally. Because of course originally when you're like hanging on for every little clue, again, it really wasn't relative to the amount of time over which it was released, like very much content. It really wasn't. I mean, we've seen that each of the, chapters that we played through has been like an hour and a half, give or take. So for the entire season to compose 7.5 hours of content, like, probably doesn't rate compared to some of the other seasons. 2, 3, 4 Icebrood Saga, like none of them really rate. Or it doesn't rate compared to any of those. It does rate compared to Guile of Delves, but by for the most part, that would not be much content, right? So imaginary rock, pass through the imaginary rock. Lo and behold,
Is it just me, or am I amazed?
connect to power core and enter the room. All right, what do we got going on here? Got all kinds of stuff. Journal, first fragment. So in each fragment, there's like a letter, right? That's capitalized, out of place. Woke from nightmares, screaming, confused, and scared. It's getting worse. I've decided to talk to a mender, a doctor. I've probably just been working too hard. Yes, you're just working too hard. It's definitely not that you're mentally unstable. You're just, quote-unquote, under stress, right? You're John Morant over here. Okay. The O was what was capitalized there. Every night, the same terrors. It never changes. The mender was unable to help me, and I feel like I'm losing control of myself. Okay, and that part is actually significant. Oh, I tried to underline it. Can't underline it. This right here is significant in terms of the story of Scarlet. M is capitalized here. So now we got O-M. Third fragment. When the nightmare starts, an entity calls to me. I run into a sea of darkness, but no matter how hard I try to escape, it keeps calling me. A. O-M-A. I'm trying not to sleep. Too scared to even close my eyes. So scared. Whispers come from the forest all night long, calling me, taunting me, possessing me. Close journal. D. OMAD. Tonight I saw it. I stared into the abyss, and it stared back at me. Isn't that like an Edgar Allan Poe thing or something like that? Or was it Nietzsche? I don't remember who it was. Anyway, so much power. I don't know what's real and what isn't anymore. Controlling of my world, of myself, is slipping through my hands, and yet I'm no longer scared. It communicated with me through images of death, destruction, and destiny. I must know more. I must confront it and put an end to this madness. Oh, where was the last letter? It's a D. There it is. Okay. So OMADD is OMAD. And we actually have a picture of OMAD around here somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. There he is. There he is. Hey, OMAD, what's up, buddy? Picture's been trashed. An old-looking Asura's portrait has several knives plunged into it. The bottom appears to have the subject's name engraved. Professor OMAD. Seems not to have been a fan of his. And there are a few other things we can look at in here. Bloop, turn this on. OMADD.
What is this?
Those are the locations of all the probes. So if we really paid like super good attention, then I guess we could have, found one. All right, so probes, more probes. Okay, tracking all that. Arrows, that's Lion's Arch. Big, like James Bond villain drill thingy. Okay, so there are a few more things we can actually look at. I only mention that because it's like, yeah, did we get all the lore? No, we got. Oh, they're not all in the secret lair. Okay, I'm not sure I care that much. My marionette, delightful, be sending her to the front line, not only serves as a distraction while I plant my probes near the city, but something of a test run. Bigger battles to come. Okay. There are a few other things we can look. Oh, so this is specifically like her trying to identify like how to marry up the different factions. So like the Flame and Frost and stuff like that. So Crate and Nightmare Court. I guess is this Inquest and Aetherblade? And that would mean that's Flame Legion and Dredge. Yeah, Drill Hand, Dredge. Yeah, Flame Legion, Dredge. So what didn't work out? Ogres and Skrit did not work out. I assume that's what are the bird? Tengu, and I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that Largos? That might be Largos. Largos also did not work out with whatever that is. Some of these things I don't know. Centaur and Quaggin did not work. Hey, whatever. Okay. But some research went into it, right? You got one of the antitoxin things over here. Wait a minute. That was our thing. Must have stolen or recovered it after the destruction of the Nightmare Tower. I know there are a couple more things we can look at in here. I don't remember what they are. And you know what? We don't care that much either. It'll be alright. Again, not really striving for the achievements. I think we got enough there to help us out with kind of the lore, right? So, we got another letter. We beat Scarlet's marionette by the skin of our teeth. And we're going to regroup in Lion's Arch. Alright, Marjorie. That sounds super. So this was a pro. This troll was actually the original season 1 was here too, kind of gate guarding. So people used to, again, power creep. He was a bit harder back then. Not a serious problem. He's a veteran. But he would hang out here, and so people would like kind of defend this area for other folks who were coming and going, so that they could advance in the story. The nonsense about like Guild Wars 2 best MMO community. It's nonsense. That's what it is. I stand by it. I firmly believe it. Is it a terrible community? No, I mean it's a normal ass community like any other. Like any segment of the population that you snatch up, there are nice folks and there are less nice folks, and there are smart people and there are idiots, so on and so forth. All right. What's going on here?
Soldier, report. Where's my Tequatl tail?
Back where I'm bunking, sir. I'll go get it immediately.
Wait, you took down Tequatl?
As reported, sir. I sent you a missive requesting an audience.
Been busy. I'm here now.
Should I go get the tail and bring it to you, Tribune?
No, I don't need a slab of decaying meat.
But I've been hauling it around for weeks.
Ooh, I bet that smell sticks to your gear.
It does.
I've been hearing about this Scarlet Sylvari. You know anything about her?
She's building an army, sir. She's the one behind the Molten Alliance.
So I heard. I want you to take her down. Permanently. Whatever the cost. You do that, Rox, and you're in the warband.
What?
That's actually important later.
I need to repeat myself.
No, Tribune. Consider her dead.
Report to me when it's done. And, Rox, be careful.
Will do, sir.
So Ridlock does care about Rox. It's not like he just doesn't care about her. He comes off as like very gruff in this relationship. But we definitely get indications there that like this matters. Her
Listen,
well-being matters.
You won't believe what Ridlock just said. If I kill Scarlet, I'm in the warband. Definitely.
Oh, I see.
What's the matter? I thought you'd be happy for me.
I just don't understand why you need some warband you don't even know. I mean, you've got me, and we've got a team of our own. Look around. They're all here with you.
It's a char thing. You wouldn't understand.
A char thing? You'd rather be in your fancy warband than with people who've been beside you all this time?
That's not what I said. It's a big deal to get into the Stone Warband.
Why? Because it'll make you special? You're already special. At least to me.
You'll still see me after I get in.
Uh-huh.
You will. Sometimes.
So that. Like,
Bram, we have to talk about it sooner or later.
I have to go clean my gear.
Bram!
Talk about so I genuinely think that what they were this is like one of like the great bizarre bad dialogue writing like spectacles in all of Guild Wars 2. I truly believe that what they were trying to communicate was that like their relationship as compatriots was important to Bram, and he sees Rox trying to get into the warband as like just using this little, because we're not even a guild yet, we're just people who've been doing things together. So this group, Bram thinks that she's using it as a stepping stone, but that that they're in it as well. But that ultimately she doesn't want to be part of this. She wants to be part of Ridlock's warband, right? So that's why I genuinely think that is like everything they're trying to communicate there. It comes off like a boyfriend girlfriend soft breakup, and then we have to talk about it sooner or later is like 100% something that like a male and female friend who then slept together and now they're not sure if they're friends or not. Like that is what that feels like. 100%. I don't know how it ended up that way. Like, I don't know who QAQC'd their dialogue. I don't know who wrote their dialogue. I don't know what was happening in the room when they, like, went over this. But I genuinely don't think that they were trying to imply that, like, this Norn and this Char have a sexual relationship. But that's definitely what they imply, whether they meant to or not. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it's fine. If that's your jam, good on you. But the thing is, like, I don't think that's what they meant to imply at all. I just think they're that bad at writing dialogue. Let's see. I think we got to talk to the folks with the green stars before we get to do anything else here. So Ella's over here. Ella McKay. She's like the one who just gives us like the rehash of season 1. Hey, would you like to learn more about her and her history? Right under Germany. Yeah, no, I was totally there. You want to go see this for yourself? I was just there. Early years, insatiable desire for knowledge, mentor to mentor, soaking up on knowledge. Then she went astray, lost her moral compass, dabbled in knowledge that would damage the minds of even our most stalwart researchers, right? So that's kind of a priory thing, is they like study like ancient, weird, arcane things that like potentially drive them mad and all that. It broke her mind, and then this whole all this. I'm not gonna keep reading this because you know what? This is just a roll up of season 1, and she serves this function in the open world too. So if you just go to like regular old Lions Arch, she's hanging out like right about here, and basically offers you the same stuff. And she was inserted because for the longest time season 1 wasn't available. And so to help new players figure out like what was the season 1 stuff, and then other players were like, yeah, there was a marionette, and this happened, and then everyone was like, and then we started season 2, and new players like that literally made no sense to me, so they tried to insert her as like a to fill that gap. All right, you see that metal human with enormous? Yeah, so not anymore, because Marionette had her enormous removed, and now she has a less. I mean, I said less feminine. I guess it's not that it's less feminine. She's just not as well endowed, right? I guess that was the whole thing, was that they changed that model. What are we going to do about Scarlet? Wait a minute. Did you fight Tequila by yourself? No, there's a small army there. She grabbed a piece of the tail. Others hacked the rest. And did what? Like, ate it? Did we eat Tequatl? So during the period of time when Season 1 existed, that was before Tequatl's overhaul. Pretty sure this chapter was before Tequatl's overhaul, because I don't think that happened until after the Triple Trouble, which they referenced earlier in some of the dialogue. And I really firmly believe, I doubt anyone ever did it because it would take so long, and undoubtedly other players would show up and start fighting Tequatl as well. But in theory, you could solo Tequatl during that period of time. But she did not. Okay. Why is Bram mad at you? He thinks he'll never see me again. And this does, we don't get any deeper. Will we see you again? I'll be busy, sure. They'll have missions and tasks for me, but I'll be able to take leave sometimes to visit. If you need help, I'll be there if I can. If you can. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, that's totally fair. Like, I don't know why we're giving Rox a hard time. Like, this is... Everything Rox is trying to do is, like, completely reasonable. But no clarity on her and Bram shacking up, which, again, I don't believe is a thing, but...
Somebody care to tell me why this child was on the battlefield?
You want to calm down, Logan?
Child?
Not you, this is Surin girl. I found her out there trying to get to Scarlet's twisted marionette. Who does she belong to?
Oh, her.
Help! Help! Save me from this creepy human!
It's okay, I'm a Crichton Seraph. The kid's in no danger.
Ram! Don't let him take me away! Please!
Are you her guardian?
Who, me? Wolf's teeth, no. I've never seen her before in my life.
Ram, you're so mean. Can't we just go home now?
Listen, buddy, I don't know what your game is, but you better get this kid to safety. She's got no business on a battlefield.
What? I swear I've never seen her before in my life.
All right.
Hey, where's he going?
Logan.
And not my responsibility.
It's okay, Bram. You can take me home now. I live in Radasum.
Huh? What?
Where do you live? Maybe we could go there instead.
No. You found your way here. You can find your way back.
Fine. Here I go. By myself. Off into the big city. You'll probably never see me again, Bram.
Good luck, kid.
Okay. So I've never been happy. I want to make the distinction here. Timy's voice actor is really good. Timy's a terrible character, and the dialogue and everything it's all just like not very good. One of my biggest beefs with Timey, and kind of with a good chunk of our band here, I've discussed this before. Timey is explicitly, clearly, without a doubt, it is 100% made clear within the story, a minor. Why do we drag a minor along with us? And on this point, right, we haven't been dragging her along with us. Like, we keep bumping into her. But you know, all these folks become part of, like, our little crew. Why are we dragging a minor around with us while we try to save the world? Like there's nothing responsible about this. What kind of nonsense is, like, whose idea was that? Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But what's more, it's also suggested that Bram, Casimir, and Rox are all fairly young as well. We just don't know, like it's not as clear whether or not any of them are technically minors or not. But they are all quite young.
Marjorie, a word, please.
Be right back, Cass.
Like, what is this?
Is Lady Casimir okay?
Yeah, she'll be fine. It's just been a rough day. Did you see that twisted marionette?
I did. And I heard there are jungle worms erupting from the ground in Bloodtide Coast.
That's because they're disturbed by Scarlet's seeking devices.
I thought your Norn was taking you home.
He is. He just doesn't know it yet.
What does a little squirt like you know about Scarlet, anyway?
As it so happens, I know a lot. I've been studying her for months. I came to meet her, but she didn't show up.
To meet her? Why would you want to do that?
Because she's brilliant, of course. My theory is that she knows something about the dragons, and that's why she's building an army.
Your theory, huh? You don't think she's just a big old meanie?
Do you always talk like a 4-year-old?
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you something. You wouldn't know anyone who goes by the initial E, would you? Just E?
E? No, why?
No reason. Just eliminating possibilities. How's the queen?
I wouldn't know. The Shining Blade have her so tightly wrapped up I can't even get near her.
Well, at least she's safe.
Poor Logan. All right, lot of talking here. Jeez. I don't know what Bram's hammering on here. Let's go find out. Still stirred up by that fight. You? Yeah. So what's going on with you and your little friend? The Asura Ragamuffin? Never seen her before. Must have heard Rox say my name. So, like, why was Logan so easy to trick into thinking that, like this guy very clearly said, I am not the child's guardian. Like, why would you leave a child with someone who's very clearly saying, I am not their guardian? Like, that seems like really negligent. You're not her guardian? You're a nice guy, Bram. Why are we now participating in this? Why are we? Because we know Bram a little bit? Come on, Bram. Like, take this rando kid home? None of this feels good. Marjorie, what are your thoughts on the matter? Why are you calling... Shut up, Marjorie. We don't know anything about her. Then we need to learn. Yeah, I mean, that just seems like... for a private investigator, like...
Oh, hi.
Are you a friend of Bram's? I am, or rather, I will be soon. Creepy, Tommy. From Radasum, yes. I do realize you're an Asura. Yeah, it did. Believe it or not, it is a noticeable thing. I try not to be prejudiced, but there are certain distinguishing characteristics that Asura have, such as being tiny with giant ears and looking like a mix between like a... you look like Yoda. Right. Zap. Nice name. Thank you. I came up with it myself. I thought of it. Isn't that something? Curious about Scarlet? She's Sparky. Is this a... Like, so we don't see this again. Is this like a Surin teen slang? I drool when I think about everything she could teach me. That's... it's an alchemagical bonanza. Cool. She'd kill you without a second thought, child. Inconceivable. She'd die old and sad, but I'd be amazing. Okay. Are we finally done? Like, those two can do their thing, and Bram can hammer on an anvil, or... Is he nailing the anvil in? Like, I guess that's what's happening here, is like... Because would you want to secure an anvil? Although I don't know, like, nailing. I mean, it's sand. I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, do we get a letter? We do. Trouble at Fort Mariner. Oh no! Where we're holding my Trin. What could it be? I mean, we know, right? So, here's Ella Mackey in the, like, open world. Again, she'll just give you a rundown on season 1. And then she also has something to do with, like, some lodestones or something. I don't remember exactly it. Not something I got super into. I mean, I knew when it was, like, new content. I just don't remember anymore. Kind of the weird thing about all, like when they put like weird, random, like one-off things into the game sometimes, it's hard to remember some of that stuff. Especially if it wasn't your cup of tea. If you didn't get into it, then like you might end up forgetting that it ever happened. I might end up forgetting that Guile of Delph ever happened. Not our concern right now. Let's find out what's going on at Fort Mariner. The Aether escape. Well, I guess now we know, right? Like, I mean, it's like titling a book. Like, the prince kills the king in the end. Like, if that was the title of your book, then like you'd feel reasonably confident of like what happens in the book, right?
Feel the fury.
Who's this guy? What's up, buddy? Oh no. So that thing that he does there, it like attaches a bomb to you. You see all these, oh, this time I do have a bomb. Which is not good, right? Like you don't want to have a bomb on you.
Feel the fury.
It's not good. Oh man, he's got like the ranger great sword swing that includes like a dodge in. Oh, that ain't what I wanted to have happen. Oh, let's finish this guy. He's annoying. Never a dull moment. Ellen, what's up, Ellen? Is she now like the one in charge of Lion's Arch? I think she is. I think the election happened in between like one of the other chapters in this one. Because she's now Captain Ellen Keel. Remember, she wasn't a captain prior to the election. She was like some kind of inspector, right? Like Inspector Ellen Keel. Now she's Captain Ellen Keel. All right. Aetherblade staged a smash and grab from the other side of a new mist portal. All right. Let's find out what's going on here. Smash and grab. Mitron's gone. Bad things.
It all happened so fast. Scarlet's minions were everywhere. They had our backs to the wall from the very beginning. One of them broadcast Scarlet's voice. She said, "Vacation's over, Mai. I have work for you in the mists." The invaders took Mai to a portal outside. They had to fight past a squad of Lion Guard to get there. And two strangers, a golem and a Nord lad with a fearsome mace. After Mai entered the portal, the golem went after her. The Norn shouted for it to stop, but it wouldn't. It declared, "Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing," and actually ran faster.
Huh. Wonder who that is.
Have a good time.
Scarlet wouldn't retrieve Mitron without good reason. This has gone far enough. I'm taking this to the council and demand we bring them both to justice. I mean, yeah, that's generally what you do with people who escape from jail. Like, I don't know. You got any leads? Aside from the latest crises, the Line Guard has reported a number of steam devices across the countryside. Even one in the bay here. Look, we have divers checking it out. What do you think it's doing? Captain Shud claims it's a probe, but we can't remove it easily. You should be able to see it here with this spyglass. Take a look. Alright, so now we know what the probes look like.
Stay out of trouble.
It's too deep to scrap easily, but maybe we can find something to track Scarlet. First one I've seen turn green, and that is true. None of them were green. They were like orangey before. Blast. That's a change. Could have something to do with this jailbreak. Huh. Alright, well, we're going to go after Bram. She's going to give us access to the mist portal. Cool, cool. So this coincided with the rollout of a whole new thing. And that was the interesting thing about Season 1 is a lot of the little story pieces did coincide with other changes that took place within the game and so forth. This coincided with introduction of Edge of the Mist. Okay, so Edge of the Mist, and in them like inserting story. This is the only time they ever tried to insert story in anything related to World vs. World. It did not go well, and that's why they never did it again. Now, I am way in favor of including World vs. World in the story in terms of making it relevant for lore and like tying the lore of World vs. World to the the lore of the rest of like the personal story and stuff. I think that would be a great idea, actually. I am a big fan of like introducing players to like World versus World like gameplay and stuff through instances. Maybe even an instance that takes place in like one of the in one of the World vs. World maps, whether it's Eternal Battleground or one of the Borderlands or whatever the case. Like, I think all that stuff is great idea. Is a great idea, excuse me. But what they did is they rolled out Edge of the Mist, and Edge of the Mist was intended to be an overflow area because at that time, some of the servers for World vs. World were like way overpopulated, and others were way underpopulated. And this was viewed as a potential fix before they ultimately rolled out linking, which also was a fix that did not work. Like every fix that they've tried to implement thus far did not work. And I thought linking was a disaster waiting to happen. It maybe didn't turn out as bad as I was expecting, but it didn't do anything good for anyone. You can make the argument that, well, it helped low population servers. No, it didn't. It just made low population servers subservient to whoever they were linked to. So it was a de facto server merge without them having to take ownership of the fact that they did server merges. But before they did any of that, one of the things they tried to do to kind of help strengthen the World vs. World scene was roll out Edge of the Mist. So when they rolled this out, obviously it was something that was of interest to a lot of people. So a lot of people were here anyway. Sky Captain. Thanks, Sky Captain, but I'm good for right now. Like, I actually kind of have a general idea of what goes on around here. So they rolled this out, right? It's like a World vs. World map. You see, we got our other World vs. World maps here. None of them have any exploration in them because on this count, I've never gone into World vs. World. Well, I have actually, but not on this character. So nothing's unlocked. But here we got the Edge of the Mist, right? So this was an all new thing. It's very different. And by design, right? So this is intended for like guild versus guild stuff, is what this is for. And then whether or not it's used for that, I don't know. Like, Guild Wars 2 approach to guild versus guild has been like very tepid at best. This was as close as they've come to like, really saying, hey, yeah, we support this. They've kind of been ambiguous about that, which is weird because it was such a big part of the first Guild Wars game. But you'll see like all these like bridges and like all this open space, and you can fall off all these, and, plunge to your death and stuff. Compare that to like Eternal Battlegrounds or one of the Alpine Borderlands, where there's not a lot of opportunity to fall anywhere, and even a lot of the bridges like keeps and stuff, you can't really fall off of. You could jump off of, and it's not going to kill you if you do fall off of them. And then it also has some other like mechanics, like the generators and stuff, that are unique to Edge of the Mist. So it became its own thing. People wanted to check it out, but the problem was there were also tons of people in the map doing story stuff, and then it got weird.
I figured you'd be halfway to Mount Maelstrom by now.
Scruffy, my golem, broke down. And I still learned more in the short time I've been here than you have in your whole life.
What happened?
That seems
Why
unnecessary.
did your silly magical machine man stop working?
I was studying that strange device, but every time I got too close, it zapped me and knocked me back. Eventually, Scruffy's power cells shorted out and pieces of him fell off. That activated his emergency mode. So he followed protocol like he's supposed to. He carried me here, spit me out, and then powered down. And you've got a lot of nerve calling Scruffy silly with those clothes and that haircut.
So your golem's dead. Why don't you just walk out of here?
Same reason you don't fly out, because I can't. My ears, how thick are you? See these
Fair.
legs? They don't work right. I can't walk very far unassisted.
Sorry. I didn't know. What did you learn about those, things you were studying before your golem broke?
As if you'd understand. All right, I've got nothing but time, so let's give it a go. They appear to be survey probes for the purpose of identifying high-energy thermic channels and matrices.
So it's like magical energy is a swirling storm, and these things are mapping it.
Trifle simplistic, but yes, that's exactly the case.
Okay, truth time. Why did you run away from me? Why did you come here in the first place?
It's not personal. I just wanted to see Scarlet's handiwork up close. Her marionette was amazing, inspiring. When I saw her minions running through a portal, I followed them.
You were supposed to stay with me. I told you to stop.
Zosha tells me to do stuff all the time. So does Vorp. I don't listen to them either.
What's your story anyway, Tiny? How does a little thing like you get into such big trouble?
It's tiny, and I'm a progeny prodigy. I've got important people fighting for the right to be my teacher.
Important people, huh? Are they real people? Or just big-eared figments of your overactive imagination?
They're real, but they all want to tell me what to learn. I'd rather be like Scarlet and pick my own courses.
Wolf's tail, girl. Don't be too much like Scarlet, okay? One's way too many.
All right, whole bunch of dialogue there. I mean, you know, it's fine. I guess that's our character development for Tommy, right? Like, there we go. All right, stuck watching over the Asuran kid. Yep. Well, good job. Good on you, Bram. What a guy. What a guy. What about that probe in Lion's Arch? It means Scarlet's machines are doing something.
Tell me more about the probes you examined.
They're well designed. They emit pulsed eldritch waves that register the relative strength of all local ambient magic.
Like the way bats hunt? They let out a chirp and react to what that chirp bounces off of.
Right again! I'm clearly a good influence on you.
What do you think those probes of Scarlet's are looking for?
Best guess? The transcendent magic channels that span the globe. Old-fashioned synergetics texts call them ley lines. Normally you can't see them or touch them, but they're real. Magic finds its own path, like rivers running to the sea. The probes are trying to identify the biggest and strongest of these ley lines, but I'm not sure why. Not yet.
Huh. Okay. Cool. So this is actually one of those rare times when, like, the studio actually tries to kind of put, like, some kind of framework for, like, the science within the world, which is kind of cool, actually. Poor Scruffy. Poor Scruffy. What do you need? Yep, can't get too close to Scarlet's probes without getting zapped. Scruffy's broke. We need to collect parts. And then Scruffy will be able to auto-repair.
So, what was your golem's name again?
Scruffy.
Will Scruffy work again if you get the stuff you need? I'd get it for you, but I can't leave you unprotected.
You're sweet. And absolutely. I built him for maximum ease of maintenance. All he needs are some replacement parts. He may be rough around the edges, but when he's whole, Scruffy is as reliable as an entropic crystal regulator.
Ah, that's good then. Right?
Ram, will you tell me a story while we wait?
After you ran off on me? And all the abuse you heaped on me since we got here? I get plenty of that back in Kragstead.
You don't spend much time around Asura, do you? We only abuse people we like, or those we're trying to improve.
Fine, I'll assume you like me. Once upon a time, there was a brave and handsome Norn named Bram.
one already. From you. Twice.
Alright, is that the end of our dialogue? Okay. So, we could go get the parts, or we could just advance the story by talking to Timey again. I don't know that I necessarily want to go get the parts, if I'm being 100% honest. Because this area is actually, like, pretty well defended. And it's kind of a pain. And if it's not necessary to advance the story, then probably we're not going to do it. The other issue is, while it's probably a non-issue for us, that's weird to say that an issue is a non-issue. The other potential problem, while it's likely not an issue, is that this is a world versus world map, right? So we could, on our way to try and get these parts, which obviously I did on my initial playthrough, when this map was like super populated, and I also did when they initially rolled this back out on my main account. Which again, the map was super populated because of people trying to, to get the stuff. I did those things at that time. I just don't know that it's worth it now. And what I experienced when they reintroduced this, when they brought this out in like the as instance content, was folks were kind of so when you encounter like adversaries, they were kind of willing to look the other way, like to try not to attack you because they were doing the same thing you were. But I did kind of want to run out here just to kind of, in general, like show the vast difference between this and like world versus world, right? This is hugely different. But again, this is also in the mists, and the mists are kind of this untapped potential when it comes to storytelling. There's so many things that ArenaNet could do with the mists if they felt so inclined. They've simply, thus far, I mean, they've done some things in the mist, but there's still a lot of things they haven't done, and the potential exists. So over here on this, and actually it's like down there if I remember right. Oh, can we get down there without having to go up top and like meddle with? Maybe we can. Maybe we can get the parts. Because I think the parts are down below. There's still a bunch of Aether Blades down there, though, if I remember right. And if we have trouble, again, then we'll just go talk to Timey and advance the story. Because I don't really care about this at all. Probes. Parts. Veteran Troll. Which he just holds this ground as like a world versus world mechanic.
Another personal victory.
Cool. Alright. Go team. Was there more? Why is there still a thing there? Do they really want us to get these mushrooms? Like, really bad? I don't think so. Alright. Let's return to Timey. See if this is adequate for her to fix her machine. If it's not, then, I don't know. Build a new one, Timey. I don't know what to say.
Hello?
Yay, we got her parts.
Are we still going to be friends when we get back?
No, Timey.
Wait, are we friends now?
I think so. You don't boss me around as much as other adults. And when you ask a question, you let me answer it.
Well, I'm friends with Frostbite. He can't even talk. So yes, Tiny. We'll still be friends.
Not
Aw,
you keep calling
shucks.
me Tiny.
Alright. Can we... Why was that not... Alright. Yeah, let's chat and pass the time. Ask me anything. I'll keep my knowledge to speculation ratio at 9 to 1 or better. Is that good? I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like most people fail at that ratio pretty seriously. So I guess that we should be grateful to Timey for that. Do we want to just straight up ask her, what happened to your legs? I was born this way. My legs were never strong enough to carry me very far. Don't pity me, though. I hate pity, and I don't need it because I do just fine for myself. Okay, good on you. It may spread to other parts of her body as she gets older. Okay, so this is a degenerative thing. Like, she has a full-blown condition. She can walk from her bedroom to the water closet. That's good knowledge. Scruffy, her golem. Yes. All right. Do we care about this? How we ended up here? No, we don't. Okay. What did you learn here? I intended to examine Scarlet's probes, which would allow me to explore 2 subjects at once. What is she up to, and how does she create such fantastic equipment? Okay, what'd you learn? Not as much as I wanted to. I think they're designed to identify ley lines. Yes, we talked about that. I don't care. Why does Scarlet care about ley lines?
Scarlet attended each of the 3 colleges, and that she worked with the inquest. Oh, and that she...
If you believe the rumors. I talked with an Asura named Vorp. He says it was all bunk. I'm inclined to agree.
I know what Vorp says, but her twisted creatures weren't bunk. The Hollow Pirates either.
Fair.
Some Asura are just jealous.
That's enough about Scarlet for now. Jormag's Tooth, you really need a new hero.
Well, do something heroic enough and I might change my mind.
Huh. Alright, so why are you so fascinated by Scarlet? Freedom. Okay, I'm not willing to put aside her villainy. Most people aren't. Okay. So so this is consistent with like Asura though, right? They kind of separate like the academic from the moral and ethical. So I don't know that we need to be like super upset about that. All right, Marjorie. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am that Scarlet's actions aren't as random as they seem. There's a pattern here. Yeah, I mean I feel like that was evident. She gathered a whole bunch of clues. Dead end bar. We can examine all the clues. Cool. So I guess we leave the Edge of the Mist here. Yeah, so that's the whole Edge of the Mist thing in Season 1. Now, in the original Season 1, and actually, I'm sure the achievements are still there. I'm sure every one of them can still be grabbed. Let's take a look. They also rolled out a whole bunch. They really wanted people in Edge of the Mist. So all these achievements, like people were doing these as well. Like grinding these out, trying to get them. And as a result, like on my main account, I have almost all of them. Because everybody was doing that stuff during that time. Now, I think some of those would be pretty challenging to actually get with the map like dead empty. I can't help but wonder if you might almost want a guild if you wanted those achievements these days. I think probably that would be the case. But maybe not. I don't know. I have never tried to get them on any account other than my main. Within a few months of like this segment of the story passing by, I don't think I really ever went to Edge of the Mist much again. There was a period of time when people were farming the heck out of Edge of the Mist to get like World vs. World levels and World vs. World reward tracks and stuff like that.
Lace curtains here, linen tablecloths there, and a sign out front that says Delacroix Investigations. Or,
Stop. No curtains. No tablecloths. And most of all, no sign.
but,
No.
but,
Okay, maybe curtains. But only if they're black.
I can see you're tired and cranky. We'll talk about it some other time. Rox, come in. Join us, please. Where's Bram?
He's dealing with that Asuran cub, his new friend.
It's nice of him to see her home.
He's a good guy, that Bram.
Yeah, he's alright.
Long time no see. You should hear what happened. My friends at the Priory delivered everything
I'm literally here to hear what
I
happened.
also called in Vorp, the Arcane Council's point person. He's collaborating with us remotely.
We need your help sifting through the evidence. We have our own theories, but we could use another opinion.
These recordings were found near Scarlet's lab in Lornar's Pass. You should listen to them first.
All right. So we got all kinds of things in here. We got some recordings. And then we got all kinds of clues, and we can see these things like laying around, right? So we got like a mock-up of the probes and some various debris from different things, and a pistol apparently, and all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's start with the recordings.
You've seen me through my awakening, Mender Ceramon. Thank you. But I'm awake now, so you can leave me alone. Synergetics is endlessly fascinating. It seeks to define the eternal alchemy. The other colleges work within that definition. The potential of golems interests me. Combining dynamics design with statics versatility makes just about anything possible. I like Teo. More importantly, I need need to advance my theories quickly, and nobody's better at quick results than the inquest. Today will be monumental. With OMAD's support, I shall finally see past this world and into the eternal alchemy.
Scarlet rejected the Pale Tree because she wanted independence. What if OMAD's machine cost her that?
So, yeah. We'll put a pin in that. But that philosophy of like rejecting the Pale Tree because she wanted independence, like that's also the Nightmare Court philosophy. It's like exactly the Nightmare Court philosophy.
The moles get magic, Flame gets gear, and I get the weaponry I need. Everybody wins, especially me. Lion's Arch needs softening up first, so we infiltrate its halls of power and neuter its defenses from the inside. The theme is humanity can withstand any test. It's like they're begging me to prove them wrong. It's laughable! See?
That's kind of funny.
Air superiority wins wars, so build me a comparable fleet, or I'll kill you all and replace you with hollows. Once more, my esteemed snaky friend, you're doing this for obelisk shards. You want direct access to your profits, right? Then do as I say.
Scarlet deceived each of her allies into thinking they'd gain something from working for her. She'd make a great minister.
Minister being like a member of parliament, sort of in Crida, not minister like Protestant Christian leader of a congregation, right? So that's what that was in reference to. We got another one. And I still, again, they're trying to kind of like justify the weird alliances with like the Flame and Frost and Toxic Alliance and stuff. To me, it's always going to be a stretch.
I came out of OMAD's machine. You've been taking credit for my ideas. They're mine, not yours. Let me be clear. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. Nobody tells me what to do. Not ever. It's not true. None of it. I don't have to listen to you. Get out of my head!
I wonder if the voices in her head are real. What if what she saw in OMAD's machine grabbed hold of her? Ironic that she rejected the Pale Tree to exert her independence, only to lose it to something else.
These other items are all pieces of the puzzle. Examine each one and let us know how you think it fits.
So there is within these recordings, there is some pretty solid indication that they were genuinely throughout season 1 working towards season 2, and then ultimately what Heart of Thorns would be. So there does seem to be. I definitely think there are periods of time when they've done a very poor job and probably haven't done adequate planning on the story. And for all the things that I think season 1's weak on, it does seem to is disjointed as it feels, and it feels terribly disjointed. It does seem to be working towards the goal that ultimately was achieved.
I'll never forget how close we came to disaster. When I think about those spores spreading their toxins across Tyria, it boils my blood.
The Nightmare Court and Crate do make a volatile combination. Scarlet popped some horrifying alchemy there.
Indeed. So we were able to find the antitoxin. Can we test it on this sample? Why would... Let's see. So Scarlet would have spread her toxins all over Tyria. It's a good thing we found the antidote. Why would she do such a thing? It was a cover to grow. So that fake profit was like not the end goal, right? Did she really need Nightmare Court secrets? Probably not. So we can eliminate these two. There is an achievement if you get all these right on the first try. There's one that I always get wrong because it's like weird and counterintuitive, and like I always miss it because I always feel like I know the right answer and then I'm wrong. In this case, Corchers grew the plant. Crate made it toxic. Combination was powerful. The poison is so powerful.
This sample is resistant to the antitoxin we used against the Nightmare Tower poison.
Jory, we didn't stop her plan. We just showed her how to make a stronger poison that could wipe out an entire city.
Oh no. Oh. Okay. What do we got next? Part of OMAD's machine. And the concept of OMAD's machine will pop up again later in the story as well.
Headmaster OMAD's isolation module. A Sylvari named Kiara went in. Scarlet came out. I reverse engineered an image of Kiara's aura patterns before and after. The schism is pronounced and dramatic.
Vorp doesn't like OMAD. He never should have put Sierra in that cube. Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree on that. What about the cube itself? All right. So essentially, Sierra went in, Scarlet came out. Some things should not. There are some things we shouldn't open our mind to. What do we believe happened here? OMAD must fake the vision. I don't think we believe that. The cube made her insane. Well, yes, that is true. But the vision may have been more than just her own insanity. Something was, in fact, there.
Kiara encountered something that literally broke her mind. But the only things in there were things she brought. I surmise she was directly exposed to a part of her own psyche that had been carefully walled off, perhaps for her own protection. We'd need to do far more extensive study of the Sylvari dream before I could draw any more detailed conclusions. What I can conclude now is that she's preparing to strike. Mark my words, Scarlet's next attack is planned and ready.
Well, that's not good. What else we got here? An Aether Blade weapon. That's what the pistol was. Let's take a look.
Scarlet converted part of the Nightmare Court Arbor into her own personal airship factory. She also tormented the Sylvari firstborn, Kate. She formed this alliance in part to develop hybrid weapons with maximum destructive potential.
So what she's referencing there is the Aether Blade path of Twilight Arbor, which was introduced, as I mentioned when we were doing the last chapter. Was introduced later. There used to be three. There used to be three paths of Twilight Arbor, and then they got rid of one and replaced it with the Aether Blade path. And that's what she's talking about with the airship construction thing. What is she holding over Kaith's head? Well, Scarlet didn't want to just meet Kaith. Kaith and Scarlet are not both admirers of it. They knew each other, but you're wrong. And if you do the the path, then you'll know that Kaith was raiding
now
the
she has an
airship.
arsenal of advanced weapons and an air fleet to deliver them. No city is prepared to defend against an aerial attack. Not even Lion's Arch.
Which is true, right? Because anti-air was not really a thing apparently in Tyria during this time. All right, what's this drill?
It's been almost a year since the Molten Alliance attacked the Shiver Peaks. Dredge and Flame Legion together. Who'd have imagined it?
Look closely at how they combined Dredge mechanical knowledge with the Flame Legion's fire magic.
All right. What brought the Dredge and Flame Legion together? Sonic weaponry, flame magic. Yes. She was making something else, right? So there's a long view here. It's not that she just wanted a battle suit. It's not that she just wanted Flame Legion magic. This being a Dredge thing, this being a Flame Legion thing, but she was working on something different entirely.
So Dredge sonic technology can be used for probing underground.
And Scarlet's been looking for ley lines with those probes. She's after the ley lines underneath Lion's Arch.
Oh, we figured a thing out. All right, what about this?
Dragon
Bash.
Supposed to be festive, until Scarlet killed people with her flying pirates.
Keel did an excellent job documenting the assassination of Counselor Theo Ashford during Dragon Bash.
You should really return this case file before she notices you purloined it.
So my Trin tried to get on the Captain's Council, and then now she's escaped. So what is the deal with my Trin? So I think we saw this, right? We saw this within the recordings and stuff, where Scarlet needed to infiltrate the Captain's Council.
Scarlet plotted to kill someone on the Captain's Council to make room for her puppet.
With Trin in place on the council, She could have weakened the city's defenses from the inside. That plan backfired, but Trin escaped to the mists to prepare for something.
Okay. What else we got here? Scarlet's journal.
I almost feel sorry for Scarlet after reading her journal. If only she didn't use Omad's machine, she might be a sane flower.
Those are the
True,
ramblings of
true.
a crazy murderer. Make no mistake, honey. She enjoys killing. She needs to be found and put down.
Okay, but I don't know that Casimir was wrong, though. Yep. So this is what this is everything that we already read, right? What do you suppose it means? Something is driving her, right?
There. What could possibly frighten someone like Scarlet?
She saw something while hooked up to Omad's machine. Something that broke her. She's hearing voices in her head. But what are they telling her to do?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's the thing that we probably want to know. What's going on with the energy probe?
A piece of one of Scarlet's probes. We theorize that this agitated the jungle worms.
Okay. Also woke with three-headed worm. Yes. So that was a really interesting thing when they rolled that out, because they introduced like an entirely new meta event, independent of introducing a new map or anything else, which is kind of an interesting thing. Magic dissonance that the probes emit that disturb the worm. What do you think she was looking for with the probe? Okay, not an artifact, not just bombs. So closing in on a magical location. Up. Is that all we get? Is that? All right. Well, I think we're good though. That seemed to be the right thing. Okay. Steam creature wreckage. So steam creatures are a really interesting thing, by the way.
You can identify similarities to Scarlet's clockwork machines in its design.
It's like she's modified the Watch Knights with the same engineering.
Steam creatures been around for a while. Yeah, and their origins is like really like unclear. There's some suggestion within the Asura personal story, like really early, like 10 or 20 level, I can't remember which, that kind of suggests that like the player character in an alternate reality creates the steam creatures, which is like a really kind of cool, interesting thing. And then of course similar engineering was used on the Watch Knights. Are you suggesting that? Wait, what exactly are you suggesting? I think it's this one, because I also don't know what I'm suggesting.
The Watch Knights and the Steam creatures use common parts. That would explain how Scarlet gained control of the Watch Knights. Their obedience makes them perfect infantry units for assaulting a fortified location.
So that's the one that I always find to be like counterintuitive. And I'm like, that one just doesn't seem to be like really like straightforward the way these others are.
Recovered this cooling rod from the Thaumanova reactor disaster.
In a fractal, no doubt.
Steeped in dragon magic.
Oh no. Yeah, that was unfortunate. It's kind of like the Chernobyl of Kryta, sort of. What does Keel think about all this? That Scarlet blew the place up. Okay. Which in the fractal you learn that in fact that is what happens. Scarlet was involved in that. Dragon energy, ley lines, crisscross, crossteria. No. Yes.
Scarlet and the Inquest turned a risky research experiment into a time bomb so they could study how it ticked. They also discovered new info about ley lines. If Scarlet is using that info to plan her next major attack, it's coming soon.
Alright, we got one left.
It's so like Scarlet to ruin someone's big day. Poor Queen Jenna. Celebrating 10 years of rule only to have it marred by killer automatons. Is that Watch Knight piece safe, Marjorie? I hate having any of Scarlet's machines in the bar.
Don't fret, Angel. Ever since Queen's Jubilee, it's been quiet as a corpse.
Jeez. Alright. Yes, that was the first time we saw Scarlet. That is true. It was all part of her plan. Operating behind the scenes for some time now. Well, she didn't choose divinities to reach at random. I don't think she has a grudge against Queen Jenna. I guess she wants the Watch
I
Knights.
think our friend is onto something.
Not bad. The Clockwork Horrors from the Jubilee must have been Scarlet's second round. Scarlet got crafty. Instead of pairing up two splinter factions, she stole an entire fighting force, and then she upped the ante with that giant marionette.
You don't need that kind of firepower unless you're going to attack something really big.
True.
Let's review
True.
Kiara
I thought there was an achievement for getting all those right. What the heck, man?
Terrified and emerged as Scarlet Briar. She came out insane, but there's a method to her madness. We know from Thaumanova that she's researching magical energy and ley lines. She's used Molten Alliance Magitech to locate ley lines. We know that there are ley lines in Lion's Arch, among other places. She's built her own personal army. Crate and Nightmare Court, Pirates and Inquest, Dredge and Flame Legion, and most of all, her Clockwork Horrors. She tricked her subordinates into doing her bidding with promises of power, resources, or other gains. She modified her poison to be resistant to our antitoxin. She could use it against an army or a city. My Trin is preparing the Aether Blades in the mists for a big attack. There's a mists portal in Lion's Arch.
Jory, Lion's Arch is her target. We have to warn Ellen.
I'll warn her. I'll let you know when I hear back. Make your preparations. Everything has been building toward a single, devastating attack. May the gods show us mercy.
Alright, so we got some indications there of things to come. Marjorie seems to believe that the next big thing is that... that's just for finishing the story. I don't know. I thought there was an achievement for getting them all right. Alright. So for video purposes, this is where we're going to insert a break, and that's because I'm at like almost an hour and a half, and we still haven't done all the Lion's Arch stuff. So this one's going to be long. So thus far, we have tracked down Scarlet's hiding spots, and we fought Marionette, and then tracked down Scarlet's hiding spot, and we've kind of come to discover what her plans are, and along the way, of course, we spent a whole bunch more time, kind of dead time, honestly, including some time in the Edge of the Mist with our little crew that we're starting to put together: Rox, Bram, Marjorie, Casimir, Timey. So now we believe that impending attack against Lion's Arch, and so we got some mail. We're going to look at that. We're going to look more into this whole Lion's Arch thing. That's where we'll be headed to next.